Hey everyone, Camille here from 88 Fitness Training. Welcome back. Today I'm going to take you through a really great functional workout using all compound exercises. So if you're looking for this total body, all-in, good functional strength workout, this is the workout for you. So it'll take about 20 minutes to get through this workout. There'll be 5 exercises done as a circuit, and we're going to have a whole lot of fun doing it. So stay tuned. So functional training is exactly how it sounds. Our bodies are meant to move. We are always pushing and pulling and bending and hinging all day long. Whether it's going to your porch and picking up that Amazon package, or your kid, or you're trying to pull something towards you, we are in constant movement in multiple planes. So this workout today is going to take you through some excellent compound exercises that will help build up strength for those everyday activities. So exercise number 1 is going to be a push-up. So I'm going to show you 3 different levels depending on where you're at: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Alright, so if you're a beginner and you can't quite do push-ups, we're going to start on an inclined surface. So just grab a bench. You can even do it on a wall if you're not quite at this level. Alright, we're going to come down. We're going to keep the elbows at about 45 degrees. You don't want them flared out like this, and you don't want them tucked like this. So right in between, just like that. Keep nice flat back as you do that, and push. Alright, so we're going to hit about 6 to 12 reps here, just like that. Alright, for all my intermediate lifters out there, we're going to go ahead and take it down to the floor. So same thing, get into that nice plank position, hands shoulder width apart, bring them down at a 45, and push straight up, just like this. You're really gonna feel this in your arms and your chest and your triceps. It's a really great compound exercise. All right, now my advanced lifters. There's a really great multi-joint functional exercise you can do, and it's going to be the push-up to rotation, just like that. You're going to have to really use all those stabilizer muscles to control it as you go down and rotate up. So it's a pretty advanced move here. Same thing, we're going to hit 6 to 12, just like that. You can also do other things if you're advanced. You could do a decline push-up where your feet are on the bench and your hands on the floor. The thing is you got options, right? But exercise number 1 in this 5 exercise circuit is the push-up. All right, exercise number 2 is going to be a row. So grab a pair of dumbbells, a plate, whatever you have to work with this. So we're going to hinge at the hip. We want that nice flat back. We're about 90 degrees here, and we're going to pull. Just like that. We really want to stretch and then pull. So make sure you're squeezing at the top, just like that. Really great exercise for the back. You're going to feel pretty much the entire back, especially because you're leaning forward like this. All right, so that's pretty much the beginner exercise. If you're a little more advanced, you want to try something a little more challenging, then I recommend try a single leg row. So put one foot up and try to still row just like this. It requires a lot of stabilization. So now instead of it just being, whoops, see, I can't even look at you guys and do it. Instead of it being mostly the upper back exercise, I'm utilizing all those muscles in my legs. So again, for just the rows, I do 6 to 12 on this one. I would try doing 8 to 10 per side, just like that. All right, so that's pretty darn challenging there. It's utilizing a lot of muscles, but we want to make it harder for those advanced lifters. The renegade rows where it's at. Now we're pulling in all that core stability, just like that. So grab those dumbbells, get into plank position, and row that weight back. You're going to want to rotate those hips as you pick up the dumbbell, but really focus on keeping those hips neutral as much as you can while doing this renegade row. So, all right, there you have it. For the beginners, bent over row. For those intermediates, try incorporating some more balance in there. And then more advanced, the renegade row. So that's exercise number 2. All right, compound exercise number 3. It's gonna be the squat. All right, so for all our beginners out there, we're gonna do a goblet squat. So you can grab a kettlebell or even just a single dumbbell. You're gonna hold it like this, and we're gonna squat down. Just like that. Really take your time. Make sure you're getting good depth. Go as low as you can. Be really careful. You don't want your upper body to really lean forward. Try to keep it upright as much as you can. Just like that. But exercise number 1, goblet squat, beginners. Now if you're a little more advanced, intermediate, then grab a set of dumbbells and we're going to do this. So usually with the dumbbells you can go a lot heavier than with the goblet squat. I mean, dumbbells go all the way up to 100 plus pounds. So it's really like as much as you can do in terms of grip strength here. All right, now for my more advanced, you know the trend by now, we're gonna recruit even more muscle fibers. So we're gonna do a squat to a shoulder press. Talk about compound multi-joint movement. There's nothing more functional than this right here. So same thing, 6 to 12. So whether you're doing the goblet squat, the double dumbbell squat, or the squat to shoulder press, all really great functional strength exercises. Number 4, it's gonna be a hip hinge. And so anytime you hear hip hinge, you should already be thinking bridges, hip thrust, deadlift, that kind of motion. So for my beginners out there, we're just gonna start with your standard bridge. It's probably the most regressed version that you can do. So come up to flat, squeezing the hamstrings and glutes, back down and up, just like that, and down. So it's a really great hip hinge exercise. Again, you should really be feeling it in the glutes and the hamstrings, but what you don't want to do is hyperextend and be too high up, so keep it just in line so you're kind of flat like a table. There you go, and squeeze. Again, I would say hip thrust is kind of similar to this. You can do it on a bench. Just don't load up the weight too much until you get there. All right, so for my intermediate, we're going to do Romanian deadlifts. So grab your set of dumbbells, feet hip width. You're going to let your hips pull back. You have a slight bend in the knee. Come up, squeeze the glutes. Just like this. I did a video recently that went through Romanian deadlifts versus stiff versus conventional. So if you're not sure what the Romanian deadlift is, after watching this, definitely check that one out. All right, so how do you get it more progressed? Again, we're going to incorporate more balance there. So that's going to be a single leg Romanian deadlift. So grab your dumbbells, release a leg, come down to parallel, and back up. This requires a lot of balance. So if you're wobbling all over the place when you first start doing these, no worries, it happens to the best of us. In fact, I can't even look at you guys, I don't think. Barely, see, oh, look, I'm wobbling. All right, and then you're gonna switch legs. Same thing. When you're doing the bridges, you can easily do 6 to 12, that shouldn't be a challenge for you. When you start getting to these, I'll go ahead and do 10 to 12 per side. Same with our other single leg exercises. So just like that. All right, so exercise number 4 was your standard hip hinge, either bridges, Romanian deadlifts, or the single leg deadlift. All right, the 5th exercise in our circuit is going to be the lunge. It's a really great compound exercise for the lower body. All right, so for our beginners, we can grab a set of dumbbells, and if you're not quite there, that's okay, just do a body weight. And we're gonna start with the reverse lunge. So you can alternate, or you can do 6 to 12 per side and switch. So either one. Alternating is a little easier because the one leg gets the rest in between. But in my opinion, the reverse lunge is one of the easier ones to do because you're not required to have a lot of knee stability and things. The quads aren't firing. It's a little more hamstring and glute dominant. So that would be for your beginners. All right, for your advanced ones, I recommend the traveling lunge. So grab that set of dumbbells. Now we're doing forward lunges, just like that. You can go ahead, get your 6 to 12 per side, come back, that type of thing. All right, so we want to make it even harder. What are we going to do? You guys should know this by now. We're going to add some balance to it. So I'm going to do swing lunges to balance. So forward lunge, step up to balance. Forward lunge to balance. Same thing, we're going to go to the side to balance, side to balance, and then reverse lunge to balance, reverse lunge to balance. I'll just do it real quick from the side. So forward lunge, whoop, to balance. See, it's hard. Forward lunge to balance, side lunge, balance, side, balance, reverse, balance. It requires a lot of stability, core control, and those legs are gonna feel it. So there's number 5 for you, it's the lunge. All right, so again, this is designed as a circuit workout. You should be able to get through it in about 20 minutes, but there's 5 exercises and they're done back to back to back to back, no rest in between. And then you're gonna wanna do this circuit 2 to 3 times, depending on how fatigued you are. And it's okay in between sets to take 1 to 2 minute break. But just as a recap on what we went through today, again, it's a functional strength exercise workout. So it's mimicking all of the movement patterns that you do in daily life. So exercise number 1, we started off with the push-up. I showed you beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So with the push-up for the beginner, that was on an inclined surface. Then we moved to the floor for the intermediates, and for my advanced, we did the push-up to rotation. All right, so exercise number 2, we did the rows. We started off with a double dumbbell bent over row, and then from there, we did single leg rows, which again, really increased the intensity due to the amount of stabilization. And then for my advanced lifters, the renegade row. All right, exercise number 3 was the squat. We did goblet squats for the beginners. We did double dumbbell squats for the intermediates, and for my advanced lifters, we did squat to shoulder press. All right, number 4 was our hip hinge. For my beginners, it was the bridges or the hip thrust that you could do. From there, we did the Romanian deadlift with our dumbbells. And then for the advanced, the single leg deadlift. Really challenging, especially for that level of stabilization required. And then to close out the first part of the circuit, we did the lunge, exercise number 5, sorry. So with the lunge, we start with reverse lunges. It's really the easiest variation of the lunge in my opinion. And then for my more intermediates, we did the forward lunge, like the traveling lunge. And it's a lot more quad and stabilization required, a little more challenging. And then for the most advanced, we did your swing lunge or multiplanar lunge with balance. And that balance is key. It is hard to stop that momentum when you're doing that forward lunge to balance, lateral side lunge to balance, and reverse lunge to balance. So those are the 5 exercises I'd like you to try. Again, it's a circuit, so do all 5, 6 to 12 reps, take a 1 to 2 minute break, and then repeat. And you can do that 2 or 3 times. And you should be able to get this done in about 20 minutes. So I hope you enjoyed this total body functional strength workout. And for more like it, definitely check out that total body playlist. And as always, like and subscribe. Camille, 88 Fitness Training.